Hello, Internet. If you don't know who I am, it really doesn't matter. And if you do, hi, thanks for coming. It's so nice to see you again. Lots of big smiles for something so serious. I came to the internet to talk about rape because I like having women scream at me from across the world. The reason I want to talk about this is not because I think I have anything really profound to say or that I have any kind of insight that's somebody hasn't already covered, but it seems like there's just a predominant voice when it comes to women's issues in general and rape in particular. And what I see more and more every day is men, trying to kind of understand just the issue because there's not a lot of basis for them to like ever worry about getting raped, for the most part, for most of men. It's not true for all of men, and it's not fair to generalize anybody, but that's pretty much the case. But I see them like trying to have conversations and talk to people, and they get shut down so hard. There is no real conversation going on. It's you have a penis, and so you're wrong. And I just came here to tell you that that's a bunch of bullshit. If we want to talk about rape, which I think is something that we should do, we really need to be able to include everybody in the conversation. If you want to go on the internet and launch yourself into a tirade about how all men always commit rape whenever they have sex, then you're extreme. You're fucking extreme. You're like ISIS for women about anything. It just, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm going to come here, maybe try to help you see how you can still have this conversation without putting people down and without telling them that their opinion is worthless and without blocking literally and figuratively every idea and sentence that offends your closed off sense of sensibility. It's ridiculous, and that's fine. You can be that way. That is totally fine. But then do not get up on the world stage. Do not get on the internet and pretend that you are trying to help women, or pretend that you are fostering conversation, or portend to speak on behalf of me or anybody else who feels the way I obviously feel. It's insane. It's literally insane. It's the definition of insanity that we can't talk about this. And one of the number one points of contention in that non-discussion is reporting. And that's kind of like how I ended up doing this. I saw something on Twitter. And there was just this guy. There's just this guy saying, but why didn't you report it? If you were raped, why didn't you report it? Why didn't you tell somebody? And there are a lot of reasons not to report a rape. You cannot report a rape because it's an extremely traumatizing situation that you just got out of and you don't really feel like talking to somebody right now. That's understandable, but not helpful. You might not talk about rape because you're embarrassed and you feel like it's your fault, which is, don't feel that way. Just don't. If you ever find yourself feeling like it's your fault that you got raped, it's not. It's just not. So that's not a reason to not report rape, is it? Because it's just not your fault. Another reason that people say they don't want to report rape is because nobody's ever going to do anything about it anyway. And while I can see very good reason to say that, that's like saying, well, I'm not going to vote because my vote doesn't count. Well, if everybody didn't vote, then your vote would have been the only one that mattered. So yeah, I guess, yeah, if we can get to a place where nobody reports rape and then just like one person reports rape, then I guess there's an argument there. But other than that, there's not. There's just not. The police don't do a good job of handling rape kits. The fact that there is a backlog of rape kits is, one, disgusting, and two, abominably just reprehensible. It's awful. Maybe the answer to that is I don't know, like a committee within the police force, or an entirely separate institution whose only purpose is to investigate rapes and to use that evidence. But to say well, nobody's going to do anything about it, so I didn't want to report it. Follow that to its logical conclusion. Just see where you come out on that, okay? So 5 people get raped. Nobody goes to the police. What they all do is go to Twitter and say, I was raped and nobody ever did anything about it. I was raped and nobody cares. I was raped and I can't do anything. I was raped and I'm a victim and I don't know how to move on with my life. Now, let's say the police got a bug up their ass to actually do something about something. What they would find when they go to their records of reports of rape is you not reporting that. So they can't do anything with something you didn't report. So part of the problem with the police not doing anything about rapes is a little bit when you don't report the rape. Like that hurts. It doesn't help. So I'm not trying to say that the fact that there are backlogs is not important. I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that it is hard to go and speak to another person after you've been through an incredibly traumatizing event. I am not downplaying any of that, but what I am saying is that to go on the internet, blame all men for everything, say there's nobody who's willing to help people, there's nobody who's willing to help me, there's nobody out there who wants to do anything about this very serious situation. Well, we've gotten a lot of discussion about it lately, but if the approach to getting rid of rape or to addressing the issue of rape, if the approach in the past has been to stay silent about it, I think we can probably see why it's taken so long to really take that seriously. And so what I am saying is, if you would like to be taken seriously, go in and report your rape. Do it. Do not let somebody determine your weakness, use that weakness against you, and then know that they will get away with it because of your weakness. It's nobody's fault to get raped, but anybody who has been raped has been in a position of weakness, whether it was weakness because they were intoxicated, whether it was weakness because they were simply just in the wrong place at the wrong time, whether it was weakness because they were physically overpowered or overpowered by number, whether it was weakness because they were indentured and had no way out. That's a weakness. And the people who rape, predators who find people to go and prey upon, I mean, that's what it is. They're looking for the weakest animal in the herd. That's what you do. That's how it works. And so if you're out there looking for somebody who you think isn't going to report the crime you're about to commit, and you guess right, well, you just won the game, didn't you? So don't let somebody use your weakness against you. It's okay to be weak. Everybody has moments of weakness, but to take that weakness and just bottle it up inside and say, that's all I am. That's all I am is just this one weakness in this one moment, and I couldn't do anything about it, and now I have to live that way forever. That's insane. It's literally, again, the definition of insanity, to do something over and over and over and over and over again and expect a different result is so crazy. It makes me so mad to see so many women not only keeping themselves in a victim status, but then also going out and shutting down anybody with any semblance of just the notion that perhaps you can take control of that situation, and you can do it by starting to talk about it. So you go in, and even if it's hard, you make that report. You do it. Why is this hard? Don't let somebody make you a victim. Don't let yourself make you a victim. When something happens to you, it happens in that moment. And when that moment is over, you can either choose to relive that moment over and over and over again, or you can choose to stop it. You can choose to get up and fight back against it. But you will never find yourself fighting against your rapist if you will not confront your rape. And you can start by reporting it to the authorities. I don't want to see any more of this self-victimization, living with something traumatic that happened to you and refusing, explaining away, justifying living in your own weakness. Don't let it happen. Do not be the victim. You don't have to be. You were once. It is not a lifetime sentence. Don't prove your rapist right by letting him take advantage of a moment of weakness and then propagating that by not saying anything to anybody, by allowing that person to go out and find the next weak person who will then also not say anything, so that he can go out and find the next weak person and they will not say anything. It is not the way. I don't get it. It makes me so mad. It makes me so mad to read these things every day. And you will not do anything. So I am doing something. I'm fucking yelling at you. Don't hide that. Don't get on Twitter and talk about it. You go down and you report it. And when the reports of rape go from 50 a month or 50 a year or whatever it is, when it goes from 50 to 100 to 150, somebody might take a look at that file and say, well, gee, I think we have a problem. But when 2 out of 50 people report a rape, it looks like, well, only 2 people out of 100,000 got raped, and that's pretty good. Report the rape! Do it! Jesus! Just, holy shit. Why would you want to live that way? Why would you want to stay that way? Don't stay that way. You're better than that. You can be better than the one time where you weren't at the top of your game. Just don't let somebody do that to you. You can talk about it. You can. But you have to do it. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have to go in and identify and report your rapist so that this can stop. I would really like people to take that idea seriously. And thank you very much for watching my rant.